Is there anything to do that? Only find every day.
Of the Manchester Municipal Corporation is now called to order. Notice convening the meeting is taken as read. Let me apologize for my lateness because I don't start meetings so late in the morning on a morning. But I now ask Councillor Knight to pray for us.
Let us pray. Our Father and our God, our Creator, we humble our hearts to you this morning. We thank you, Lord, for bringing us here. We ask you, Lord, that you will be with us in a very special way. Lord, we pray that as we conduct business on behalf of the parish and the community, oh God, we will also conduct ourselves in an orderly manner. Lord, at the end of the day, then I pray that this meeting will be very fruitful. Lead us, thou great Jehovah. Remember those who are on their way coming. We pray that you will hasten their steps. We pray that you will be with us today. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. National anthem, please. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil parts. Be our light through countless hours. To all leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever, Jamaica land. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father. Grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love. You may be seated. Today we meet again to have discussions about the parish and things that are needed to be done. February being Black History Month, so we recognize that so many things are happening around us. But this morning we want to do the people's business with some due diligence, respect and order. And so at this time I'm going to ask if we have any apologies for absence. I think Councillor Kennedy said that he will be late. Any other apologies? Please.
Councillor Andrew Smith will be absent.
Will be absent?
Yes.
Any other apologies?
I apologize for Miss Blair. She is participating in a training and unable to attend at this time.
Wilson will be late.
Councillor Wilson will be later. Late, okay. Any other apologies? I think I see Councillor Marion Baker somewhere on the grounds. Okay. All right.
I apologize again for Mr. Damian Chen, also another officer of the corporation, and it's also on training.
Okay. All right. So officers are out on training. So over here, so looks so empty, bad. and nevertheless, but can we go to our confirmation of the minutes, regular monthly meeting held on January 8th. But before we do that, can we take the corrections? Page 1, page 2, page 3, 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, 8, page 9, and 11. I have a motion. Councillor Bright, seconded by, seconded by Councillor Carl Smith. All in favor? Aye. Let me remind, we're not in committee meeting, please. Protocol stands for the General Council meeting. All right, matters arising, page 2. Request for new street lights.
Chairman, as it relates to this matter, there was a amendment for last month. We did not receive the submission for Craighead, but we would have currently received it and it is now submitted to the ministry. So last month we would have reported that we would have received information for Craighead, but it's actually for your division, sir. So we are in receipt of that information for you for 15 street lights, but the submission for Craighead was submitted to the ministry and we are awaiting that.
Installation, page 3.
Chairman.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it was in the last budget debate. The Minister of Local Government promised that each councillor will be receiving 50 street lights per year. And I haven't heard anything more about that, Mr. Chairman. So could we check it out to find out if we're really getting that 50 street lights?
Well, I can recall that he did make that statement in the budget last year, April. And as we speak, we are now having the reopening of Parliament today. And the budget here finishes next month. So, Madam, with haste, we're going to ask that a letter be penned and sent to the Permanent Secretary. And just see if we can find a little piece in his budget debating that he stated that each division would get the 50 street lights. Because I know Craighead would do well with theirs, even though they submitted late. And I would do well. And I'm not going to send it for 15, I'm going to send for 75. Because the fact is that I do the entire parish. Because even though I get 50 now, some of these are really for other divisions, not really for not for Bradford alone. Right? So when you hear the mayor getting an allocation, sometimes it's not even for his division, it's for the parish. So we're going to ask that we try and send in as early as possible so that we can see what is happening. The other thing though, and probably we need to raise that with the persons from JPS, the hurricane came, some poles were blown down, lights were on those poles, and the problem is that some of those lights were new lights that were put up last year, and those lights have gone missing. We need to ask JPS, where do we go and what procedures we take to get those lights on those poles. All right, yeah, go ahead.
It's just not this hurricane, it's from Beryl. They haven't replaced any of them either.
Okay, so we need to talk to them and ask them. Go ahead, Mr. Alford.
Thank you, Chairman. Also, there were some of the LED lights that has gone out, and we would like to know if they repair those lights in the interim.
Okay, so we will also write to them and include the repairs, the missing lights, and the way forward. All right. Now, page 3, installation of clock, that has been done, so we can remove that from the minutes because the clock is at the back of the chamber. Not that from the construction of indigent house in Porous. Soup, you want to give us an update? Because I hear the minister going bad about the house, you know.
Morning, Chairman. Morning, members.
Morning.
Currently, Chairman, we are at practical completion.
Okay.
I'm expecting the contractor to turn over the site to us by latest next week.
Okay.
An officer from the ministry was there for inspection yesterday, and he would have committed that they'll be making preparations for the handing over.
Okay, thanks very much. And thank you, Soup, and your team. Because I know we started it right in the hurricane or just after the hurricane, and there were some problems in the whole situation. So we thank you and your team for doing that. When after it is handed over, then we'll take the opening. All right. Pictures for former local government ministers.
You would have received the quotation, the invoice for having the work done for the frames, that is currently with the procurement to be completed in short order.
Okay. You want to speak to us on the other matter, delivery schedule, Mandeville? Because there were some discussions outside of this meeting. I think we'll read the whole matter of delivery schedule and the matter of the NWA situation here on this with the changes of the traffic and all of that. Do you have any update?
Just to note that a letter was sent off, as was previously discussed in other forums, to the NWA to address several matters that are outstanding for the corporation. But Chairman, we are going to have more dialogue. What might be necessary is to what might be necessary is for us to have a local meeting. Local meeting with the business operators and the JCF to move this matter forward to create our own delivery schedule.
Okay. Councillor Mitchell, I see your hand up or is wiping your face?
Yes, Chairman.
No, you don't answer the question, you know. Your hand is up or you're wiping your face?
No, my hand is up.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. No, Chairman, the matter of the delivery serve thing is a matter of, I think, of emergency. It ties into the traffic issue. And I don't know if we want to go as far as to even write the minister directly, because we have a number of questions that we want to pose. And one such is...
You have to stay for the records, which are the minister now.
Minister of Works,
okay.
The Honorable Lester Morgan.
Okay.
One with authority, the mandatory traffic issue. As I mentioned in the last meeting, something that is not working should have a timeline and should have a frame. As if it's not working, what is it? That's the next fix. And for us to come another month, I know the letter is off, as the CEO said, but I deem it as a matter of emergency. The situation is very bad in Manchester.
Okay, I hear you mention something in your talk in the One Road Authority, but I have some questions on it. There's something about the One Road Authority in the August report. So at that point and time that we'll look where it is and we have some discussion, because I have some unanswered questions, you know, so I want to have a discussion on it. So when we get to the August report, we will see what happens. All right? Changes of signature, Mr. Richards, anything on that? Is the CEO on now?
Mr. Chairman and members, just to report that we have gotten approval for changes for one of our accounts.
Okay.
And we're in the process of doing that. We're awaiting the approval from the Accountant General from the remaining accounts.
Okay. Melrose Yam Park.
Chairman, as it relates to the matter, our company, council's lawyer, he will be visiting the corporation tomorrow, Friday, to have a discussion with us on all outstanding legal matters, and we'll be able to have a more fulsome answer at that point to present to the committee at another time.
Right. Okay, but just to note that the lessee was served with the notice. And his lawyer has written back to all lawyers, and so that's one of the discussions we will have when the company lawyer, council lawyers talk with us tomorrow. But we're not giving up. There are some things that is erroneous in his response, and so we will give the council a full update after we have met with the lawyers. All right, go ahead, councillor.
This matter, it is in my division, the Melrose Yam Park, and it's perturbs me because we have issues, long-standing issues that is there. But is it after the fact that the notice was served by our attorneys that they seek to have this intervention? And if so, I would like to know, not a legal mind or a legal luminary, but I would like to know that as the notice has been served already, is it, our duty to have a discussion now? Or is it that the lawyers are going to be a part of the discussion? I would like to know.
Let us have the discussion with the council lawyers and then we will take it step by step. All right? The police is not here. I wait their coming because there are some questions that were on the other paper, and there are some questions we would probably want to ask again. Page 5, page 6, page 7. All those will be we'll get update from the relevant officers. Page 8, page 9, page 10, Soup, you want to just give us a little update on the renovation of the office? Where and what's our next move? Because I'm just sounding it from now. I'm sounding the trumpet from now that the Manchester Municipal Corporation we don't have any money, but we have scraped hard to make sure that our building is going to look proper. And so the buildings in Mandeville needs to step up the pace and clean up their buildings. They are coming next because I didn't want to start it without, first of all, cleaning up my house. Yes. So you can go to another person who's going to tell them to clean it up and your house is dirty. So we have started cleaning up and we should be finished soon. Go ahead, Sue.
Thanks again, Chairman. Just to advise, Mr. Chairman, that the works on the upper floor and the internal part that would have been completed for the most part. We just have some remedial works to do on the staircase, and that would have completed works on the inside. As it relates to the outside, Mr. Chairman, we're actually in the process of procuring materials to do some cleaning and painting at the outside of the building. Those works are expected to start like in the next week, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, councillors.
Inside is beautiful.
Okay. Any other matter on page 11? There be no other matter on page 11. I may declare matters arising closed. And we move on to reports from agency. We'll take the fire, then SDC. So the report has been circulated, right? Right, so just give us the highlights here, Mr. Matengo. Right.
Yes, good
Morning.
Your Worship, officers of the Municipal Corporation.
Just turn off here, man. So turn it on now. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Councillors, other government agency present, the media. Good morning.
Morning.
Let me take this opportunity to introduce to you one of my member of staff. He is Assistant Superintendent Trevor Edwards, who have been promoted and transferred to the Manchester Division from the KSA Division. So he's a town man. So Mr. Edwards is with us for a little while now, I think about 18 months, or a little over a year. And I think it is prudent for me to introduce him to the corporation, seeing that he is my 2IC along with 3 others who will be sitting in from time to time, representing me and the office. So, Mr. Edwards, this is the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Feel free to meet and greet the persons when the meeting is over. Allow me, sir, to make mention of questions that were raised at the last meeting during my absence. My representative take back a few concerns, one of which was requested for more visits to school, and it was stated in the minutes that there is a lacking in such an activity. I want to say that that is not the case, as the brigade continue to do inspections, lectures, and training, fire drills, earthquake drills, on all these activities within our space, especially for the young and vulnerable, the kindergartens. So the report that is tendered each month, if you look in the fire prevention section, you will see all the activities of drills, lectures, face-to-face, and it comprises private institutions as well when it talks about lectures and visits and inspections. So I just want to make that clear, that we continue. There is no lack, as we from time to time has to pull persons from suppression to complement the fire prevention section when there is a bulk, so we have more per person going into the field, and that has been done over a period of time and continues as I speak. The servicing of hydrant, that came as a question as well. Yes, there is a lull because of all the activities that are taking place in the West, and we had also divert some of our resource on that side to assist our neighbors. I had advised the Municipal Corporation that my team was to even go into St. Elizabeth to help with the rehabilitation. So yes, there is a lull because we are looking about our neighbors and trying to get them back up to speed. But nonetheless, we continue to rehabilitate our hydrants. We continue to inspect and also recommend new hydrants. If you look in our reports, you will see the same. As a matter of fact, this month, if you saw the report in front of you, we have a host of hydrants, about 190, which is a vast amount, and that entails the era of development from housing trusts that is taking place, Mount Nelson and some other places. So yes. This morning I was also advised of another hydrant that has been noted in the Russell Place Gardens, and we will look into that one as well. So rest assured, we are here to work with you, and once the concern comes to my desk, I will definitely look into them. Before I mention my report briefly, Mr. Chair, there is a concern. I have a concern, and I think that concern is grave. And I'm talking about the Christiana space. Right adjoining the road is what separates the station. There is a building there. I think it's Potato Corps. There is nightly, well, not nightly, but activities taking place there on several occasions. I have received a written report from my officer there of the difficulty faced whilst carrying out their duty when these events are taking place. And it mentioned that there is loud noise, the vibration from the music on the box shakes the windows, the doors, and even the phone. If you know how we operate as an emergency, we have what is called a duty room, or a watch room. The police call theirs a guard room. That is where person is placed 24/7, 365 and 66 on leap year to garner emergency call. We have in that space the emergency phone, which is 110 tied into the operator in Kingston, the local emergency number, which is 964-2444, the occurrence book, that person log occurrence that happens within the space, and the telephone logbook that captures the calls that comes by telephone. When this is happening, sir, the report states that they are unable to hear the phone. And that is understandable. If you're outside and a truck is passing, you're on your cell phone, you can't wait for that truck to pass for you to continue your call. Much more hearing that continuous dancehall, heavy rhythm booming in the duty room. So it is very serious in us responding at the time specified, and I will have a challenge with my persons because the rule is that you get the call, you respond 1 minute after receiving the information. Can't receive the information is an issue. So how do you respond? Persons are in distress and we will get the blame because the call comes in, we can't hear, we can't respond. I think we need to look. So I will have some dialogue with the police, but I think I just want to put it out there that persons understand what we are faced with. And also, the patrons who come to these sessions park even in front of the fire station, blocking the entrance exit. So that is a challenge. And I think, serious thing, you know, lawlessness, carefree, and persons just downright don't care and tend to operate as if they don't understand. But I think we need to have it out there that persons function differently. There's another space in Christian as well, Silent Hill. There is a roadway that the complaint comes to be is blocked or partially blocked. Resident with Rockstone, the brigade can't go through, they have to circle Spaldings to access that area, putting the community at risk. So that in itself, I will have some sit down with the superintendent of police to see how we can fix that. Because it can't be that persons have an emergency and because of the known care attitude of other residents, it takes a longer time for us to reach the emergency and to do what we are paid to do. So, Manchester citizens, please to work with us so that we can work with you to make you as safe can be. The report for of emergency operation administered activities in Manchester for the period January 1 to 31st. The division responded to 46 emergency calls. When compared to December, there were 73 calls, which shows a decrease of 36.99%. I don't think I have to go through, but one I want to highlight though is the notable incidents that took place. On the 8th of January, we attended a fire in Pier 3, where unfortunately we lost an individual in such fire. A male, 86-year-old, had perished as a result of this fire. He lives alone. Unfortunately, the cause is undetermined. It was a total destruction. And the 8th again, we went to Scott Pass, which is a dwelling and commercial building. Person live at the back, do business at the front. It too was totally destroyed. One male was rendered homeless. On the night, 9th, we went to Hope Village. This was a dwelling house with a fire. The house was partially destroyed. And on the 10th, we went to Frankfield, Clarendon.
The fire started at the roof.
Yes. Yes. It's partially destroyed. And that one was as a result of some welding being done in the space. So sparks from arch, from the welding, caught combustible material, which started that fire. On the 10th, as I mentioned, we went to Frankfield, Clarendon, dwelling house. One person is rendered homeless. And the 11th of January, we again went to another commercial fire in Cocoa Walk. And the 16th of January, we attend a dwelling house at Maidstone, Manchester, where 3 adults were rendered homeless. And on the 25th of January, we went to the well-known truck fire. Your Worship, we had discussion on that one, and the main road of Grove Place. So these are the noteworthy incidents, and as you realize, we have 5 persons homeless as a result of these incidents. Thank you for your attentive ear. We continue to do fire prevention activity. As I heard Mr. Chair mention about the Black history, but also we learned that it is Reggae Month and a lot of people is in a festive mood, so we advise them to do so responsibly. And as such, we continue to do all the necessary inspections of these space and to see that they are safe for patrons to enjoy themselves. Thank you very much for hearing.
Before you say,
yes, sir.
Welcome, Superintendent Duncan and CS Williams.
Okay.
I did miss your call because I was. Just to repeat what you have said in that scenario, because since he's here, because I want to raise some concerns too about some of these night noise.
Yes, sir.
Try.
Thank you, sir. Yes, during your absence, I raised some concern for the Christiana space. I had here an exhibit, a report from my officer at the Christiana station, where there is event taking place in close proximity to the station. That's at the young, there's a potato corp. I don't know if that is still, if they're still occupied, but that's building right beside. And there is activity taking place there, music playing. And my report states that the windows and doors of the building constantly vibrate, and the decibel level of the sound. And at times the main gate is blocked by patrons. You can't hear the phone because the duty room is right here at the front. So this is really a nuisance. Can't get to hear what the people are saying when they're calling in to the emergency center. So that is a challenge. I said I would have a sit down with you to see how we can rectify that. I will put it out there because I spoke to my officer. Nothing came in for any permits from the brigade sign off on any activity that close to the station for dancehall activity. So that we'll have to look into. That's a challenge. There is also another challenge in the Silent Hill space where the road is partially blocked by stones. I made some inquiry whether it was aggregate, and I said no, just stone. People just put stone there. The truck cannot pass. So when there's an emergency in that area, we have to drive all the way around to go in. It takes time putting the public at risk. So with this, I want to partner with you to see how best we can address these situations.
Okay. All right, so we can just make a note, and then you can, when you're making your thing there. Any questions for the fire soup? But just to say, sir, for the Silent Hill area, we are going to be checking. I don't know if it's on the Craighead side or the Christiana side, Christian Division side. or it could be in the Spalding's division, but it's Christian aside. So I'll speak with the two councillors, myself and the soup, and we'll have some discussion. So, because nobody has any right to block any roads belonging to the municipality in that form. All right? Yes, Councillor Mitchell.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think most of Silent Hill is Spalding Division, Councillor Trevor Garden. The majority of it, I think the little piece is in Christiana. Just to say, Chairman, I would highly recommend that whatever activities is taking place next to the fire station be immediately cease and desist, because, and I think the bus park may also be one of those areas also, because I think, from my recollection, I think parties is keeping the bus park and those other areas. But Chairman, I have a few questions that I have for the soup. One of my neighbors lost his roof, and I think that incident went viral because I was able to watch it online, even though I was far, far away. And I think you were the first person to notify me that the house was on fire and it was on the roof. But my neighbor lives overseas and he comes in every holiday. Luckily, he was here, and to my surprise, the roof is almost back on. Happy for that. But I would like to know exactly from the soup what exactly is the cause of the fire, because I know there were workmen there. You said so? Oh, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it actually. So maybe I was penning my questions. I didn't hear it actually. But I'd also like, in terms of his 190 recommended hydrants, if the one that I'm waiting on for a few weeks now, if that is in the 190 right next door to the Belfield High School. And Chairman, I have a significant concern which will go from here, but maybe be brought to the infrastructure meeting. When my neighbor house caught fire at the roof, since Windalco was taken by the Russians, I used to have water every single day of the week, 7 days a week for the 24 hours of the day, every day. And that is because I have the infrastructure that goes to the backside plant. Since the Russians took it over, in recent times, maybe 2-3 years, I only have water on a Wednesday and on a Sunday. And especially when the pump went down as a reason, there has been issues. The fire brigade, I think, had issues with responding to my neighbor's house because there was no water in the hydrants. And my scheme has our hydrant at probably every 3 houses. We have a lot of hydrants, we have a lot of fire street lights. When we were able to give assistance, they have to go back to Mandeville. And in the olden days, Chairman, I saw that fire hydrant that used to be stationed at Kirkvine. I saw it at Kirkvine when the water was rising next door in Content. And that fire unit, you would normally give assistance to the fire brigade when Windalco was in operations. So we have to take the discussion a little bit further to the NWC level and also to where Windalco is concerned in terms of the problems that is arising because of lack of cooperation on behalf of the Russians that are here operating the backside plant, and I have grave concerns.
I'm going to ask the soup to speak to us. SDC is always with us, and so they will be here, you know. So I'm going to ask soup if you could just give us an update. There are concerns about certain things. I want to tell you that I keep getting some calls about Villa Road in terms of the nights and how the traffic impacts persons moving along that corridor. Especially during the other day, it was literally nearly blocked off. They were having feast or whatever there, and people can't go because the liquor store is there near to where they have the thing. It's right behind the gas station here, and the liquor store takes over most of the space anyway down there. And to have another event going on at the same time, it is always a problem. And people who live on the road, I can't call no name because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I will take the trouble. People are complaining, the people are cussing us and telling us how is it that we sit in the parish and making all of those things happen. Because I thought some time ago I'd said that that no event should be kept there because it is right in the main road coming into the center of the town, and it's just a problem. I know we have spoken about another area. I realize it has gone down a bit, but the Villa Road situation here and what is talking about I don't know how it's going to be solved. Your time, sir.
All right, good morning everyone. And I want to say thanks to the mayor for having me. Certainly, sir, we'll be looking at that Villa Road situation in as a matter of urgency. We don't want to have the areas congested at all, or the noise nuisance. All right, so looking at what is happening or has been happening in the parish in recent times, I want to first commence by saying that last year we had a pretty good year in Manchester, and it was a significant reduction over 2024. This year, we are seeing some challenges, but just to put it in the context, that we have two major incidents since the start of the year. So 2 days actually were impacted since the start of 2026. And that would be the 1st of February and last week, Sunday, where we saw that young child was fatally and unfortunately killed. So where we are this year, as much as it might raise some eyebrows, we are not worse off than we were last year at this time, roundabout. And I have committed to this parish that I believe that based on the work that we are doing, the level of information, intelligence that is at our disposal at this time, I believe that 2026 should see us doing much better than we did even last year, 2025. Although to say that it was not a bad year last year, 2025. So on the issue on the 1st of February, where we saw, well, coming over from the 31st, where we saw the murder over there in Mayday, and then following 3 other murders some 8 hours later in Old England and Ellen Street. We have made some significant inroads based on our intelligence and operational output. And we made a call out for some persons to turn themselves into us based on our intelligence. One such person have so far done that. We have done the level of interviews and investigation processes, and this person have since been charged for 3 of these murders, the double in Old England and the single in Ellen Street, and we are confident that based on the quality of investigation that we have put into this, that we will secure a conviction going forward. The murder in Mayday, we are doing some serious work around that. Newhall, sorry. We are doing some serious work around that. We have identified some persons that we have interest in, and I made mention of a particular individual, Mr. Ore Nelson, and we're still asking him to make contact with us because we believe that he can also assist us in these investigations. So I'll say to you, sir, that crimes have been committed for centuries. And I don't believe that we will ever see a crime-free society. Our objective, though, in Manchester is to significantly reduce the level of crime, violent crimes that we see happening in our parish. And although we can't and we won't be able to stop every single one of them, what I want to say to you is that when they do happen, the quality of investigation and intelligence that we have on the ground in Manchester, we will always be seeing people being held accountable for their actions. So no crime that is committed in our parish, we will sit back and persons can just enjoy themselves to say that they are whomever they are. We certainly are doing some serious work in treating with that. Coming to the unfortunate incident that happened last week, Sunday, with that young child. We are also, again, sir, doing some serious work, and we are very close to making a breakthrough. We have identified some persons whom we believe can help us. I don't want to call their name at this point, but we have identified some persons. And I just want to say that it is my belief, based on our intelligence, our investigation, that this child was not the target of this attack at all. So I believe it is, though I'll say that I'll implore persons to find amicable way of resolving their issues other than violence. We recognize that this child was a victim of the circumstances. So I want to appeal to the persons who are so involved, to appeal to your conscience, to say that we made a mistake and we want to accommodate the conversation. So feel free to come into us, because we are saying that we have the information, we have the intelligence, and we certainly will be leaving no stones unturned. I mean, we certainly will be pulling out all the stops to ensure that this little girl and her family receive the kind of justice that we believe that they should. This is a very unfortunate situation, one that should not happen in Jamaica, particularly in Manchester at this time. But just to reassure this chamber that we are committed to our crime reduction strategies within the space. We have been doing some work and we will continue to do the necessary work to ensure that we do better than we did last year, to ensure that our parish, Manchester, is one of the safest parish in Jamaica. I am here to open to any questions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent. All right, shall we start with Murray respondents? When I go this side, I'll just going down and come up, you know. So if anybody on this side have questions, please make sure you rise to answer to ask the question. So if you can be seated in the for the time being. So are there any questions on this side? Well, okay. Mr. Miller, nothing. Go ahead, Councillor Mark Baker.
Morning everyone. Morning, Sir Duncan.
Good morning, ma'am.
I must commend you and your team on the wonderful job you're doing across Manchester. And honestly, I was driving in a part of my division and somebody said to me, Councillor, I feel so good. Every corner I turn there is a police. And we must big up you and your team for that. Now I hear the concern coming from the fire, and I need to be guided either by His Worship or by you. In a case where our service stations, such as the police, the clinic, the health centers, the schools, the fire station, shouldn't that be a silent zone? A zone where less noise, these parties and all of that. Shouldn't that be? Because I too am concerned. I'm operator of a school, and these things many times they're overlooked because the school is in this area, or the church is in that area. On a Sunday, there should not be. Isn't there a law for that? Because I know there's a law for that. Are they being enforced? Thank you.
All right. Councillor Smith.
Mr. Chair, it's not much of a question, but I'd like to just
Turn off one of the mics. So.
a statement. So I would
Go ahead.
ask
Turn
you
back
to
here.
permit me to do it at the end.
Okay, turn on the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm saying it's not much of a question to the police.
Okay.
But I'd just like to issue a
right,
statement.
so-
So I'd permit me at the end. Thank you.
All right, good. Any other questions on that side?
Sue, congratulations, you and your team, sir. I have a concern. The amount of persons coming into the town from outside. And I think I would like to see a more vigorous approach taken to interview these people. Because most of the time when I see them and I ask them where they're from, they live on the street, you know, they come and live on the street, the post office and round the park and things like that.
Street people.
When you ask them where you're from, they tell you they come from Kingston, they come from St. Thomas, and all over Jamaica. And I am saying, why leave the comforts of Kingston and St. Thomas to come?
Councillors.
To come to Manchester, where the weather is not that friendly, and they don't dress that way to accommodate it. So I would like to see a more rigorous approach taken to interview these persons, and to ask them to go back where they come from, because they're safer. Because when they come here and they cannot cope with living condition, then they fall into all type of things. Thank you.
Thank you. I would answer that one for you, but I'll leave it in. Go ahead, Councillor Knight.
Thank you.
Oh no, Councillor Evans, please. No, sir, no, it's
Never mind.
turn up. All right, good.
Just this soup, thanks for the report and keeping us abreast with what is happening in the parish. I can say that up in the hills we're fairly safe. You know, there's no such thing like what is happening down in the valley. I hope that will remain that way. But
I'm wondering if it's those in the hills that come down to the valley and then go back up.
I noticed that the choice of weapon is the gun for some of these murders. But how is it that are we getting the guns off the street, or we getting the victims and the perpetrators, but we are not getting the weapon? What is happening in that here?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Soup, thank you for your report. I see that you're under a little pressure within the space, but I know you can manage, and we have all faith in you. In terms of the night noise in Christiana, I have pertinent information that the space at the Potato Co-op has not been operated for the past year. So I don't know if it's exactly in the park that is the problem. But happy Regiment Month also. We must admit that not everybody has a 9 to 5, and a lot of persons that have a 9 to 5 depend on night life to just have a ease. Just asking Superintendent Duncan what can be done to meet persons halfway, the persons that operate the space and depend on that for their livelihood, and the persons that depend on that for entertainment. Just want to know what can be done to meet them halfway. Mind you, the operations of the fire station is paramount, but they operate in the same space. Just want to know what can be done to meet the persons halfway. Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, so you can answer that set, and then we come to the set over here.
All right, so from talk about the silent zones. Yes, so certainly there are areas that we do not give permit for events to be held. And the system is not perfect, and so sometimes something will slip through the cracks. So we welcome the policing of this thing by the citizens. So once it comes to our attention and we identify the zones, then certainly. And the mayor will tell you that there are some places that we have discussed, and I have said, drawn an X across it to say that no permit will be given for these areas. So I've taken into note the fire station in up there, and I've taken note of your question, and certainly we'll be looking at treating with those. All right, thank you. On the issue of the street people, that's a little touchy. You know, I remember as a young man or a younger man not so long ago, I think Mandeville came under some pressure when it came to that. So this is something that certainly collectively the parish council and ourselves will be looking at and see how best we can treat with this. Because certainly we do not want to have persons on the street any at all. All right, so we will look at that. Gun recovery. Since the start of this year, our intelligence have led us in particular areas. I remember when Bel Retiro we recovered a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. Over in Greenvale we recovered a .38 revolver. Down in Poros we recovered a shotgun and also a pistol. So we have been doing some work where that is concerned. Our intelligence is of very high quality here. And yes, we are not recovering the amount we want to be recovering, but we are certainly doing some work where that is concerned, and guns are in fact being recovered. Also, Councillor, we are fully aware of persons' livelihood being the round robins and the parties and all those stuff. So with everything being considered, we look at those things too, but then we say we can't do it at the detriment of other persons. As we said, that persons do work and have to get their time to get their rest. What we find that has been happening in our parish in recent times, that everybody who gets a permit, the next thing they want is an extension. And they're asking the police to accommodate the extension. And we are saying now at this stage that no, we're not doing any extension within this parish. Right? If the Noise Abatement Act says 12 o'clock during the week and 2 o'clock on the weekend, if we grant a permit, you will operate in that sphere. Because persons who go to their beds, so you have people, who are willing to live with the noise until 2 a.m., Persons who are willing to make the sacrifice that I will live with the noise until 12 midnight. But after 12 midnight in the week, they want to hear the thing cut off. So we expect that persons will adhere to the Noise Abatement Act. So certainly, sir, as I said, we take into consideration the livelihood of persons, their parties, their round robins. However, it has to be done in the ambit of the law.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Chairman. I have a few questions. And firstly, I want to start by the statement by the SOOP, which I am convinced and I am definitely sure that the Manchester intelligence is very high. And the reason why I say that, years ago, and I think when Superintendent Duncan just came, he mentioned of concern of the L belt, which was of concern to him. And as you looked at the 4 murders now, I think they would have been in close proximity of that L belt area. But the superintendent, I want to commend him and his team for the initiatives that they are taking in going into the communities and ensuring that the safety and the reassuring our residents that we work hand in hand in a partnership. And I think yesterday was even Greenvale, it was in Porus, and they were with me in Bombay, which is an area that has not had a murder over 5 going 10 years. And I want to commit to the SOOP today, as I know my colleagues would also do, that I will do anything in my utmost best to ensure that no murders is committed in the Belfie space for this year. Because 2-3 years ago, we have some embarrassments, Councillor Simit, where we had a murder in Davidton. I think there was about 3-4 continuous, and then we had 2 in Banana Grove last year. But none of the other areas across the Belfie division have had murders, and we want to give you the reassurance that we're trying our best to work hand in hand with you to that we have no murders in any of the communities. But let me just say the concern that we have, and we are aware of the statistics to show that crime is done and is going further down. But I would want for you to reassure our public, because it's embarrassing for this parish to have the 4 murders. I think it was on the last day, or the second to last day of the month. Very embarrassing for the parish, and also the shooting of the 4-year-old was rather embarrassing again. So the reassurance need to be had. And with that, I want to ask the question if there are expected reprisals for that, and do we have a high volume of violent producers, which is the reason why we may have that flare-up over the last week or 2, and if so, what is the strategy that we're going to put that? And finally, the flare-up of the violence over the L-Belt period, is it related to scamming, gangs, or drugs, or whatever the case may be? But we want to reassure our public that those things is there. But I want to thank the police for the work done.
No problem. I'll repeat with you.
Morning, everyone. So I just want to commend you and the team for the tour that is being done. I think you had been in Greenvale yesterday. It was yesterday, right? And personally, really appreciate seeing the visit. I don't know if you're doing it by divisions or just doing it by certain communities, selected communities. But in Spurtree, there's no hotspot in Spurtree. So I want to remain that way. But I think a section in Kingsland, I heard that they have persons from outside coming to squat in the land that is owned by the government there. I don't know if you can do a check in that area. Otherwise, I just want to say our community again for the good work and continue doing what you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much, Soup and team, for keeping the space, the alligator pond space, in good order. Really in a good mood, knowing that the police partnership with community, it is on a good trend, because we had one in the 28th of January in New Forest. Let me hope that February I can get another date and we move it to another place, because we don't want it to be an aftermath. We prefer to partner, go in the communities, let them realize that the peace and good order is not just on the police. Everybody has a role to play. And that is very good coming from you being the head, and it transcended to the Alligator Pond Police. I mentioned in this same committee that would have had police not being visible. But I can't say that again. Over the past month or so, we have been seeing them on the road. Let me just ask you for more visibility though in the off-roads, because I'm seeing them on the main, but I'm in the Montpelier area where I've had some reports. I don't know if they went to the station, but in the Montpelier space, they need to see more policing in those communities. Thanks.
And I don't have anything much to say about to commend Soup and his team for the work he did in the murder in Old England and Ellen Street. The reason why I said that, when I left Old England, and that's where I was born and go through, that's my district. When I left the scene this Sunday, about 5 to 12, somebody called me and said, and give me two names, and I said to them, I'm going to turn back and go to station. And then when I turned back, the 12 o'clock news, I hear the two names. That Soup need the two gentlemen. So I said, okay. No, we never get free. We turn back, we never get free. No. So, Soup, thank you. And I was in Ellen Street yesterday, I see the police. And I was in Old England on Sunday, and I see the police. Soup at one stage, when I left my parents' house Sunday, going through Old England, I see nobody to talk to. Everybody's off the street, but the police. So I said, this is good. So keep up the good work, Soup, and you can call on me for anything. Yeah. No.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, the theme coming around is so good. I feel so good as a Jamaican this morning when all the commendation is going out to the police in such a manner, because we know in former days, Mario, when they command a lot of fire. And I too want to add to that in terms of commendations to the police. I see where the team is working good in the Mile Gully area, especially the Cottage, the team at Cottage. They went out the other day and they were able to clean up one of the basic school that was damaged in Evergreen area and restore a part of the roof. And in addition to that, they are helping to restore house in that neck of the road, and of course that is very commendable. Last year in the latter part, we end on a bad note in the Mile Gully area, where I think there was a few murders. This year we don't want to have any, keep it clean. And I see where the team have been one of the tools that have been used, and I must say it is a good mix. You are out here in the community, dialoguing with the community members, and of course we see where the quality of investigation is up and it is bearing fruit, and the intelligence, you say, is coming. So that is something good. And for the last 4 weeks, there have been a curfew in the area. Just want to know if you can give a little update on that. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Also want to commend the police in terms of their
you know, the rate of which the conviction is dashed out at these individuals that do the crime. In the past, sometimes you make an arrest, but in terms of the conviction, there is not much evidence to pin. So I'm happy that the police, as it relates, so the conviction rate is very high in Manchester here, and it shows that in Manchester here, if you do the crime, you will do the time, or the morgue or the funeral home will take you home. And so that is a good message to send out there, because part of the problem is when people get away with things, they tend to continue. Yes, and it continues to reach a negative effect on the parish. But also, as it relates to the traffic, what I would want to know, I've seen it several times. You may be driving on the road and you see a heavy unit breakdown, Mayor. There is not much, I would say, caution or danger material, whatever is used to say to an individual that be careful, something is around the corner. And oftentimes we realize that it results in fatality because of, well, if a vehicle breakdown, fine, but I think more emphasis needs to be placed both on the owners of these vehicles, who the vehicle break down and we might have to stay overnight, especially the heavy unit, but also the police must see it as a very, as I would say, just as important as if a man have a gun around the corner there, because it's a death trap waiting to happen to citizens. So I would want to see greater emphasis placed, because I've seen so many times I'm coming in the night and you just meet up on this truck in the corner or this heavy unit break down, and by the morning you hear that, boy, an accident took place there last night, and it could have been prevented if we did the right thing. Also, just want to find out with the new electronic system now, and person driving now without displaying their disc, how is the police receiving it in terms of, is it working better for them? Because I know in the past, if you see a vehicle coming without a disc right away, is a red flag, that, right? Versus now, everything is most likely electronic. And so how is it being adopted in terms of by the police force?
Soup, I'm scared to speak on these two matters, because I realize that sometimes when we big up the policemen, some of them soon the day after, a week after them gone to another area. But I want to personally and on behalf of the municipality, thank Inspector Brooks for the work he's doing in Mandeville, especially in the town of Mandeville. I woke up one morning and I'm going, this is one that as it relates to noise and the whole matter. And when I was coming along, I got a call, and when I was coming along, why we don't, that road don't even name, North Race Course, South Race Course. And I get to the corner of Brigade, I see a tent and fire and thing, and I called Inspector Brooks and tell him, say, under no thing unless you want to leave the parish. Must it be there? I'm not supposed to talk to you police like that, but he understand. And when he came to the gentleman behaving as if he has a right to be there. And so, Inspector Brooks just show him the law. He was almost charged, or he was going to be charged for about 7 offenses under the act. Because I said to him, what if there is an emergency? And I tell you, during the day I was leaving to Kingston, it was the same very day that they had the fire down at Hope Village. And I had to call the fire station and say, listen, there's a fire going on, because I saw it just as it was happening. I saw a young man on the roof as if he was panicking, didn't know what to do, and I had to call the fire brigade and call to him and say, come down for the roof. But people have to understand, and Inspector Brooks have been helping us, especially the municipality, clearing the roads, especially along the highway, but I'm now seeing that some persons there, what they're doing now, instead of putting up a little table and all of that, they're now using their vehicles, especially on the Williamsfield area now, so they're gone beyond the bridge. I'm going to ask, sir, that your policemen keep that area clear, because too many near misses, because when they park the vehicle there, persons come there to stand with another vehicle, the people don't have anywhere to stand up. And so I'm going to ask, sir, that we continue that process. The other person I wish to thank is Inspector Nadine Franklin from this cottage. Yeah, man. I've seen her gone beyond the call of duty to do what she had to do. It's not in my political area, but I went down there and spent about an hour with her, just sit and talk about what is happening in the area, and it was good, because she went on beyond the call of duty to assist people. And I mean, there's a particular case for which she called me and said, Mayor, what can you do? And I tell you, it helped the family so well that they don't stop talking about it. Because in truth and in fact, yes, I did call the Minister of National Security to ask for his help, because it's at that level. It's not your level, it was at that level. And they got you, so I want to thank her, because she took interest in the matter, that she wanted to help the family to get through their grief and all of that. So those are two of your persons. I will have some discussion with you on two other matters, two areas, which that Villa Road, well, we spoke about Villa Road, but the Ward Avenue belt, I was just speaking to Sue that we need to probably look, because I think we can accommodate 3 lanes, and to see how best, because nightlife and people enjoying themselves, we don't want to kill it in the parish, because everybody going to drive out on weekends and whatever, go somewhere else. But to look at where else in the parish or in the town center that can be used to accommodate some of this, because young people, they want to enjoy themselves. We past that age. But along here, I realize that motorists don't remember that this is a silent zone. I mean, when they pass in here, even pass the hospital, they're on their horns, they're the trucks and all of that. So we may have to be looking at an overall picture of what is happening in the town center itself, and how best we can work hand in hand with police, citizens, business people to help to sort of curtail some of the noise. Because you're in office working and noise happening, and you just have to stop and wait until the noise is over and done. There are 2 areas I will talk to you about, one off the air, sir, because I'm not as lucky. I'm not as lucky as Mario. I be cautious. I was taught to be cautious. It's Councillor Smith and then the Sue.
Allow the Sue to answer the question.
Okay, all right, good. Go ahead. But I look like you have a big thing to do.
All right, so Councillor Mitchell asked about the crime reduction and the reassurance of the persons within the space. And let me start by saying I really appreciate the level of confidence that is reposed in us as police officers coming from these chambers. I appreciate the commendations all around. And I will not stop short by saying to you that Manchester has some high quality police officers. I won't stand here to say that everybody is where we want them to be, but it is a work in progress. But I'm saying for the most part, we have some high quality police officers in this parish serving you. And I just ask for the continued support from the councillors here, because you are closer to the ground than us a lot of times. You are in these spaces, you will reside in these spaces. So we just look forward to the continued support and partnership. And if we have that, then I can stand boldly, I will now stand boldly to say that to the persons in Manchester, that Manchester, although we saw So we were impacted only by 2 days since the start of the year. So the incidents that we talk about happened for 2 days. So for the most part, we have been doing very, very well. And we will continue to do well. Some persons, right, when we impose the curfews, then we have people would say, what is it and why we are doing it. But I just want to encourage and to implore the persons in these particular areas. So Old England, Ellen Street, Mayday, Comfort Hall, Land Settlement, Albion, Barnstable, Green Street, Cedar Grove, Richmond. These areas in particular for this time are the areas that are giving Manchester the biggest problems, the most headache. We have a very good idea as to what is happening in these spaces. And we recognize that there are some puppets, for want of a better words, on the ground in these spaces that allow themselves to be influenced by persons who are not even in our space. They are somewhere in North America or somewhere else enjoying their own lives while they sit there and press buttons in our space. And I'm saying to these puppets that look at what you're doing in this particular area of the parish, and certainly appeal to your conscience to know that these are your communities, the communities that we don't want to impose any curfews. We don't want to limit anybody's movement in these spaces. But if it is that you continue in this little part of Manchester to create problems, then certainly special measures will be put in place to treat with these areas. So, Mr. Mitchell, certainly, sir, we are on the ground. You have said it, you have seen it. Our deployment have been bolstered. We are out there on the road to ensure that the greater Manchester benefits from our crime reduction strategies across the space. This little space that I spoke about a while ago that we refer to in our circle as the L-Belt, I've always been talking about this, and I tell you that it is our intelligence that is guiding us in these areas. These are areas that we must pay attention to as police officers and as councillors to ensure that it does not get any worse than it is. Certainly, it must get better. The mouthful. What was another question again? The question was about Kingsland. Oh, yes. Kingsland, and you talk about the squatting communities. Certainly, we have to have a more dialogue because you're not giving the specifics, but when we talk, certainly, we will look at it and see how best we can treat with it.
40 acres of land is out there for the Ministry of Justice. We realize that that person that was doing on it, right? And squatting, we are bringing the Ministry of Justice, but they have not done it answer. So we will have other dialogue too, sir, because there's a history to that piece of land.
All right, so member from Alligator Pond spoke about the partnership and how he appreciates the interventions. That is something that we are doing across the parish, right? And you asked about Montpelier, and I'm happy to say that we have a meeting set for the 28th. The 28th of February, a widely publicized meeting in the Montpelier area. So you are cordially invited to address the gathering there. And our widely publicized meetings, gentlemen and ladies, is something that is one of our strategic tools that we use to engage the communities to find out what are the issues that they are faced with and how we certainly can help them. As a police force, we police by consent. So we want to know what your challenges are so we can see how best we can certainly alleviate them. The other question was... Remind me, Sir Kennedy? No, that thing... Sir Kennedy, oh yeah, the curfew. All right. So where the curfews are concerned, down in the cottage space, Comfort Hall, Mr. Kennedy, there are some issues down in that space. Our intelligence that we are working with is suggesting that gatherings of a particular nature in that space can be very detrimental to persons at this time. We have some persons down that space who are negatively impacting that space. We saw a murder and another attempt at somebody else's life down there. We know who the perpetrators are down in that space. We have a person down there who is wanted by the police. He escaped custody over there in St. Elizabeth sometime in 2024 it was, or 2023, Mr. Oral Cole, and he is a problem person in that space, and we are also using this medium to encourage him to surrender himself to us. Certainly, we don't, if persons are in custody, we expect them to be released from custody by any lawful means. To escape custody by itself is an offense. So down in Comfort Hall, we have been looking at our strategy down there. Our intelligence are also directing us in a particular way. So we believe that in short order, we should be able to relax the curfews down in that space. So just bear with us for a little bit more, but we'll certainly let you know exactly what is happening down there.
Every unit in the Cricket division, you were speaking about every unit in this space, vehicle breakdown as well.
Okay, all right, we're talking about vehicle breakdown. All right, so certainly, sir, we are encouraged persons also that when you pass these derelict vehicles or vehicles broken down in particular spaces, to just reach out to us. Everybody here has my number, and I'm very accessible. Reach out to me so we can do it. We do not have all the material probably to treat with it. So we are also encouraged, and when we meet with these people, we encourage them to have the necessary devices in their vehicles, that if you are broken down, you can put out a cone or something just to warn unsuspecting motorists. But if you see it, bring it to our attention. Usually, during our routine patrols, when our team come up on these vehicles, they certainly take the necessary action to have the areas cordoned off so that we don't have any issues around here. But if you see it, please reach out to us so we can treat it. Oh yes, and you also ask about the decal stickers that used to be on the vehicles. All right, so it's a teething process, what we are going through, but I believe that we are well advanced. Our traffic ticket, our electronic system is working for the most part, and so when we see a vehicle, it is very much easy for us to just punch in the information, and whatever information we need to access is usually at our fingertips. So it is not really an issue for us at this time. The mayor did make some comments. Oh, sir, I accept on behalf of Inspector Brooks and Inspector Nadine Franklin the commendations that you have expressed, and it goes back to what I said earlier, that Manchester is fortunate, sir, to have some quality police officers in our space delivering the kind of service that I'm sure our commissioner will be proud of to have us giving. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know everybody is on pins and needles, but something good, man. Superintendent Duncan and your team, commendations to you, sir. I stand here as the councillor for the Knockpatchit division. 95% of the murders have been committed in the Knockpatchit division. I am not pleased, I am not happy. The police is not pleased, the police is not happy. But all is not lost. So I just want to share with you the Mandeville Police, along with SDC and yours truly, will be hosting a futsal competition on Sunday. And this is a part of the community policing which has been bearing fruit in the Knockpatrick space. So you are all invited on Sunday. And just to give you a little insight, we have a star-studded team, a celebrity team, which comprises Superintendent Duncan, the goodly mayor, Judge Time, Councillor Oliphant, and yours truly, Carl Smith. And just to note, I was at a meeting with Inspector Brooks, and I'm sensing that Superintendent Duncan wants to chicken out, telling that he's injured. But I was observing him walking up the stairs and he's fit and able. So come forward, come out and help us to transform the Knockpatrick space. We need the help. We are inviting all the councillors. And we really need the help. One life lost is one too many. So if it's an initiative that will help any community, we crave for your help, we crave for your participation. So the persons who were fretting that I was going to talk something, it is inviting all of you. It is at T Chill Spot in Arden. It's right along the main road. You can't miss it. Well, you know of our age, so we can't be playing 90 minutes. Thank you.
Should I come and do an ambulance, sir?
Well, what I want to tell you is that, and I have said it to them, and everybody knows, when you have a star baller, or you have star ballers, you don't put all of them on the field one time. So I've asked them to keep me on the reserve, just in case.
We have about 20 star-studded players. So what we have decided to do is to split them in two. So you will be getting your adequate play time, Mr. Mayor.
but it's good. One of the things, so Soup, in closing off this session, when you know your transfers and new policemen come in and all of that, it's also for the councillors too. You don't wait until you have a problem. You go to the police station. If they don't come to you, introduce yourself, tell them who you are, and you start the dialogue there. Because we don't want to, you go and call us when something happens. We want to start it before there, that if you have information to give, so you start to look out or whatever it is, those information are ready. And I don't care, the community safety and security branch, I know it has worked over the years, and so the matter of infusing the police in the space most times help you to get rid of some of the problems you're having.
Your Worship, I just add.
You're a lady, that I can do better.
Just to add one thing,
Carly, I look for me something.
Yes. Now the trucks are utilizing porous more. So porous is now a busy place again. No, more trucks are utilizing there. I have gotten report that stones are flying off trucks. No, that stretch there in the town. We have the Porous Infant School, the Porous High School, the
Porous
Primary, and also a basic school at the community center, and also a daycare up the road from there. Other schools do pass through the town. If you pass in the morning, the town is flocked because we have over 25 districts that comes through the town. So when the trucks are passing, could there be an enforcement among your police team in Porous and along the Williamsfield belt to make sure that they strap down their loads properly? Please, because I've gotten picture of the stone that fell off, almost hit a child at the Porous Primary School. All right, thank you.
That's good. All right, so we want to thank you, sir, and I know you're going to start preparing for Sunday and all of that. So, but it's good to have you, sir, and Miss Williams. We are working with the police, and I'm sure the police will work with us to make sure that Manchester is a safe place for all of us. Thank you, sir. All right, Miss STC.
Your Worship, the Mayor, councillors, agency reps, members from the municipality, media, good day. So as the SDC moved through the month of January, we continue to roll out meaningful community activities that is geared at building stronger, safer, and more connected communities. We did a training with Comfort CDC, focusing on record keeping because that was one of their challenges in them not being verified. So we did a training with them for proper record keeping. We did a transect in Cross Keys development area, which includes the communities of Plowden, Grovetown, Cross Keys, Proper, and Marley Hill. And this was geared at the Heart Trust was having a prior learning assessment, which the certification would come from City and Guilds. The areas that were targeted were plumbing, masonry, electrical, food and beverage, and also housekeeping. However, while we would have sensitized the communities, only 34 persons showed up, but we continued to work with the persons in the area. Under the sports, we worked with Echo Flame Sports Club, which is a youth club in Cross Keys, and they had a sport extravaganza where they had a cricket match between Cross Keys High School and an under-19 team within the community, where they had also invited Maplelands to come in as guests to participate on the day. We have been working with a local economic initiative, which is KW Decor. We did a business model communication training with them where we established a structured framework for the enterprise operation and financial sustainability. We, based on Superintendent just mentioned in terms of the widely publicized meetings and the walkthrough that we have been having, and so in collaboration for the month of January, we supported the police in Bombay, Cedar Grove, Williamsfield, and also in Resource. And these, in addition, is us building community trust and restoring confidence and to secure a better future for the parish and overall Jamaica. Other activities that we would have been participating in are, for the Hurricane Melissa damage, we would have still been doing some assessments in the communities of Devon, Craighead, Coleyville, Springground, Wallaston, and also in Hanbury. Now, Councillor Carl Smith would have done a very good promo a while ago in terms of the activity that we have been planning alongside the Mandeville Police Division, which is implementing a number of activities across the Mandeville Division, starting with that section. And upcoming, as was mentioned, is the futsal, which starts February 15 and will end on April 5, sorry. So every Sunday night between the periods of 5 to 8, we'll be having the futsal competition. Other partners include Councillor Carl Smith, the Chamber of Commerce, Manchester Peace Coalition, NCU Heart Trust, and many more. We are also going to be having police youth clubs implemented in Cedar Grove and Mayday, as well as other competitions will be coming up. Corner League, cricket, netball competitions will be going on, and also town hall meetings. Now we're continuing. We have been doing a number of planning with other agencies. For example, currently Manchester Peace Coalition is having a Peace Week, which started on Sunday. So we would have been doing the planning of that activity with them. We currently are down by 4 community development officers, community liaison officers. 1 officer has been transferred to Clarendon. We'll continue as the field staff continue to work with communities, councillors or MPs or MDAs and our CSOs to build sustainable communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Councillors, any questions? No questions? Good. Thank you for that comprehensive report, Madam. Report? Announcement. Shit. Hello, go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I just want to announce in regards to the homeless committee that we continue to receive from KFC donation so we can able to feed the homeless. And in the month of January, Mr. Chairman, we have seen where we have received 1,679 pieces of chicken, 179 pieces of wings.
Where are we?
118 pieces of strips, 60 popcorn chicken, 108 and 60 biscuits from KFC. And during the month of January 1st to January 31st, we have also served 180 warm meals within that month. Mr. Chairman, we have seen a change in the weather pattern last week, and so we went on the street and we have issued 30 warm blankets to the homeless. 30 warm blankets to the homeless and 14 warm jackets. And we normally serve on a Saturday, but last week Friday we also went on the street and we served them with warm soup. But we still, as a committee, have a concern because we see where the mentally challenged, there is a level of violence that is taking place in the street, especially the town center. One of them was involved, the police, and the other was involved, another young man with one of them. And so we are also seeing an increase in the amount of street people coming into the town center, Mr. Chairman. As Councillor Oliphant mentioned, I saw a young man all the way from Kingston. He said that he's from Kingston and he has come to Mandeville to look at job. And he's been here for over 2 months. And he can't find a job and he's on the street. And I said to him, how is it that you leave your house and come on the street looking at a job and you don't get a job? You need to go back to Kingston. And so, as a committee, we decided that we are going to send these names to the police to see if we can do some investigation on some of these people, because in truth and in fact, some of them, they are not only street persons, but they are wanted people in different parishes. We were told of a young man who wanted to get into Ebenezer home, and after doing some investigation, we found out that he was wanted for murder in St. Elizabeth, and he's on our street in Mandeville. So we have to ask the police to do some investigation on some of these people so that we can know that why they are really street persons and not people looking asylum in our lives.
All right, thank you, sir. You get through this time, but next time you're at item 11. You would give us that information at item 11. All right. Announcements. I just want to announce the passing of our videographer, Mr. White. His mother has passed, and I have some other information. I'm going to ask the CEO to just send it out in the group for those who want to show sympathy, to show love and whatever, and all of that. Is Cricket Division backwards? Is Cricket? Okay, all right. So I will talk to you, and you and I will have some discussions if the date is still there. But are there? Yes, Mr. Councillor.
Thank you, sir. And I just want to announce the passing of a long time member of JS, the parish. I think she related to you, Miss Margaret Answer.
Yeah, she's my grandaunt.
And that funeral will be on the 26th of February.
Okay. Councillor Bryce, for you to note, my mother's maiden name is Answer from Salmon Town. Miss Answer, that's from Waltham, is married to my mother's uncle. So that an Answer is the only breed. Right. But also too, in a little announcement too, that I lost a nephew last evening in the United States. He was ill for a little bit. He had, well, ill from birth because he's sickle cell. But he went into cardiac arrest and that was it. So those are some of the things that we have to live with, you know? Right. Any other announcements? Accounts?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one more. Okay.
I wish to announce that we lost a retired firefighter, the person of Corporal Winston Valentine. He resided in Christiana.
Okay.
So on the 6th, we lost him. And just sad, we recently laid to rest Mr. Morgan. So that is really, other information will come as to the funeral arrangement and so forth.
All right, thank you.
That is just.
Okay. Brother Phil?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have here the report for collection of property tax and trade license for the month of January 2026. Total collection $53,459,760.66. Brings us to a year-to-date figure at the end of January to $755,222,471.79. In comparison, so January this year we collected 53 million. In 2025 we collected just over 45 million. For collection for trade license for the month of January, $237,546.74. At the last meeting I announced that the mobile unit would have been in the parish just to provide us with the collection report. So on the 21st, the unit was in Belfield at Dynamic Square, and the collection for that day was $1,434,096.
That is what I pay for property tax, you know? You say one like it's no big thing. Go ahead here, Phil.
On the 22nd, the team was at New Forest Primary and Junior High. The collection was $1,173,694. On the 23rd, the unit was in Limit Square, and the collection for that day was $2,028,807. Just to advise Mr. Chairman that the unit will once again be in the parish in the month of March for 3 days. On Wednesday the 18th of March, the unit will be at Matthews and Clark parking lot, that is in the Hatfield. And the Thursday the 19th, I'll get upon police station. And Friday the 20th of March, McPatrick SDA Church. So also on location on these days will be NLA and GLN. So please advise persons within your communities to come out, and they can receive assistance and guidance as well as to pay their property tax. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, correspondence from government agencies, none. 10. Other municipal corporations, other sources. Report from the president of ALGA. No, that has been circulated, and I really have an interest in a page here, the One Road Authority. and I'm just going to state for the records. I just want to state for the records, because I don't want it to be seen as if we are against or I'm against a one road authority or any reform. But I'm in defense of local government, statutory authority, and democratic accountability. I realize that everybody in Jamaica, most people know about one road authority except the councillors, and I speak for the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Private meetings are being held all over Jamaica. Private meetings are meetings too, private and otherwise, because there was some consultation held in Kingston. But to my surprise, the minister with responsibility for local government has not yet even said to us in the municipality, I don't know if he has met with other municipalities or he has met with other mayors, but I know I've not been invited to sit at a table to discuss what this one road authority is about. Other persons may have met with him, but I don't know. But I know the Manchester municipality has not met with the minister, nor the Minister of Works in the office of the Prime Minister, about what this one road authority is about. There is nowhere in the world or from the state of mankind that you take the lease or take the most and give it to the least. You can't take from the parish councils and give to NWA. But again, I'm not sure, because all I hear is that Cabinet has received the submission about the one road authority. We don't know if it's going to be it's going to be in the municipality or it is going to be somewhere else. But I have friends all over Jamaica, you know. But I want to reserve something until I'm giving. I'm going to put a resolution for next month. I'm doing a little bit more research. But I think it is very, very untidy that you have such a situation. And up until now, the Minister of Local Government nor the Minister of Works in the office of the Prime Minister has not met with mayors, because I don't think he will call a meeting with me alone to discuss what this one road authority is about. There are some legal implications. The Parochial Act, the Local Governance Act of 2016, all of those things, the Main Road Act, the Road Traffic Act, all of that. What is the problem? You know, and my major problem is that I have seen, and I don't want us to go back to the 80s, you know, because some of you are too young to know that. That in the 80s, everything was taken away from parish councils, local governance, except abattoirs and cemeteries. Right? And I don't want us to go back to that place, because the problem we face is that if you have a one road authority that is not vested in the councils, I'm just thinking loud. If I have a road to be fixed, I have to go call Mr. Miller and say, boss, me have a road that don't myself to fix, you know. All right, to him and say, can you fix the piece of road for me? But if you reside in the local authority, we know where the gullies are. We know where drains used to be, our drains are. We know all of those little nitty-gritty things that comes with fixing a road. When that is reside somewhere else where some big man and them friends sit down in one room and decide if you get dollar or don't get dollar, and you don't know how to fix the road, and can you ever come down to talk to the people them, it can't work. You know, so I am really appealing to the minister and the powers that be. Let us sit at the table and have that fulsome discussion as to what is going to happen. Because road is not just about infrastructure, you know. Road is about community. If you can't access communities, then you're going to be cut off. And I really hate to know, and I would really hate to know that when all of this is said and done and over, that this one road authority thing is vested somewhere else apart from the council. It would not be in the best interest of the people of Jamaica.
Chairman.
Yes?
I want to support you on that argument 1,000%. Because, Chairman, we have so much questions that no one is paying attention to. And lest the members of Parliament forget, the People's Act placed us in front of the people, and we were placed in this noble chamber to represent the people. So, for example, I have a road which I want to fix, and the people will see us every day. I want to fix the Bumby Road. And if you go down there, there are craters there. And I was told that I can't fix the road, because the road is on a schedule to be fixed, whether Spark or Reach or whatever they want, because every time it's on the program. But I said that, Chairman, because each month, for example, when the health department report comes, there are many drains across all 15 divisions, and the same thing across the country, where even the whatever the authorities are, don't you remember that these drains exist? And I can tell you the example is, for example, in front of where Farmer Council Bev live. It's a huge NWA drain that comes from My Gully and Christian and everywhere, and ends up there. That the NWA reps in the parish never knows the drain was there. And the drains that come on the health report, for example, they don't know and they have not visited them in years. Same thing for the roads. So, Chairman, the questions that we have, rather build farm roads, NWA control the main roads, councils control those local roads. Housing schemes also have some roads that many of us not even take for because they are not even in the councils. What is it? What are the questions? We need to have some answers to tell people. We are facing a situation where we are left out in the open and we have to just wonder and ponder. And I'm surprised that the councils were the second persons to be there. And how is it that we're going to move forward? But yet still we're left in a tailspin and we're in a bind and we have nothing to tell the people. I am demanding, Chairman, well, not demand, I am asking.
You're begging because they're not talking to us.
At this stage. Because the people have asking me answers. Because, for example, the people soon can drive on Bumby Road because the rain is falling continually. And we can't fix it. And we are left in a tailspin to say, what is it that we're going to tell? What am I going to tell the people to say, we are up and waiting? And the acts that you mentioned, Chairman of Parliament, that must be changed for this one road artery to come in. The Parliament don't really know what is happening either. When I reach out to members of Parliament on the PMP side, they are left clueless because all it is that we hear that there's a submission to cabinet. We need some answers immediately for the people so we can tell the people what exactly we are going to do because we are left in a bind and the persons need us to represent them, whether at the community level or wherever.
Thank you. Did I see her? Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. I am happy that you, as the head of the Manchester Municipal Corporation, had made basically a request to meet with the minister to clarify what is the one road order. Because I am doing some read up on it. I've read even the article from Alga this morning. And I don't think it is just from my observation, and everybody have their opinion. From my observation, what I am seeing, I don't think that the road will be taken from us as a municipality. I think there will be a guideline as to what is to be done or how it is to be done and the drains that should be involved, etc. That's my opinion based upon what I am reading, but everybody is just speculating as to what might happen. So I appreciate that you have said to the minister, come, explain to us what is happening and what is we are supposed to expect as leaders of our respective divisions.
I hear you, no, Councillor.
Consultation.
But without consultation, people will speculate. And I know of a fact, you know, I was trying to behave myself this morning. I know of a fact that the Minister of Works and the Minister of Local Government has met with people from the JP side. I know that. I was in Kingston yesterday and some people might slip.
You never see it today.
People might slip everywhere you go. So I know meetings have been held. That's why I said private meetings have been held. But the person for which it is going to affect most, I need to tell the people who are asking the questions. We still don't know. Probably the minister is what? How many years now is minister? About 10? I know he had said that he's doing 10 years and that's it. But so I don't know if it's at the time now when he decides now that that is it. But the people need to know. If you're taking it, tell us you're taking it. If you're not taking it, tell us you're not taking it. But we have, and I'm concerned about my officers too. if something happens or whatever, because them telling us about you need training and people not qualified and all of that. In this Manchester Municipal Corporation, I have qualified officers. Qualified officers. And I would not wish to see that the One Road Authority or any part of it resides anywhere else apart from in the Ministry of Local Government. I am not against it, you know. All I'm saying, tell us what is happening. Let us stop speculating. That's all I'm asking. Yeah.
Thank you. I hear my colleagues loud and clear, and I hear you. And myself had some concern as it relates to the One Road Authority. But I have done some reading myself. And I think at this time that it is in the teething stage. And I do believe that the minister, or the ministers, both local government and Mr. Nesta Marga, will have to meet at some point with all the municipalities to have some discussion as it relates to how we go forward. But anything that is in the best interest of the people, I am for it. Because the reason being why I say this is that we have so many roads, parochial roads, that are in deplorable condition and need the aid that we are getting from the PRF is insufficient, right, to fix. Barely can patch a few of these roads. So if we can get the support from central government to fix these roads properly for the people who we serve, I am full 100% with it going forward. But as you say, sir, we need clarity as it relates to what is happening and how we move forward. And I also believe that in short order, some level of discussion has to be had, because it has not gone to Parliament yet. It's still in the cabinet stage, right? Right. So the consultation will eventually have to incorporate all the municipalities, and whatever decision will be taken, some level of consideration must be given to us in terms of how we treat this situation. Thank you.
Okay, I hear you.
Chairman, on a point of clarity, what Councilor Miller said, I have heard that song before. When NWA was coming on stream, we were told that they will fix the national roads, and it has gotten worse. And I just want to remind this council that the councils across the island control 70% of the road network, and the other 20% may have been controlled by NWA and another 10% by private individuals. The clarity must be made.
Did I see you on Councillor Wilson?
Yes, sir. A long time before, Mr. Miller.
Oh, I never see it. Sorry.
Seniority.
Yeah. Please stand, sir. If you need to.
Thank you, Your Worship. I don't think that at this time, if we have the majority of the road, we should be begging to meet with a minister.
Thank you, sir.
And you said earlier you don't see how they could give the authority to the minority. But if we look back after Hurricane Melissa, 3 companies, 3 stakeholders in JPS. The 2 largest have 40% each. This third one have less than 20, which is the government. Who find the money to lend to the persons with the 40? The government. So that is the road they are heading down, to take control from the majority and give it to the minority. And we will not stand for that.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Councillor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and I stand in support with my colleagues who are lobbying for the people who elected us. Because using deductive reasoning, if we have to be writing, begging to be involved in the process, it is looking as if we'll be left out. How we are hearing on the speculations. I am lobbying for proper governance. If we are going to be involved bring us to the table. Bring the mayor to the table for us to have representative from Manchester Parish Council to say hey or nay in regards to the One Road Authority. Some person might be saying we are talking about something that is not out yet to say it's going to happen. But based on what we are learning, things are happening behind closed doors. And we don't want to hear a grand announcement at a press conference that this is the way that they are going without us having any form of discussion at this level. We are facing the situations out there. Bring us to the table. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you, sir. And you know, as you say that, bring us to the table. I know that in one of the consultations, Master Builders Association and other agencies or other companies of that sort have met in a big consultation. You cannot, where it hurt most, in that we have most of the roads. How are you going to start with the people who don't have no roads, who don't know what is happening? You'll start first here to say, all right, if you're going to do it, let us look at it this way, or look at it that way. It is a situation where, and the fact is that it's a foregone conclusion that it going in the office of the Prime Minister. I can tell Mr. Miller that. It's a foregone conclusion that they are trying to put a unit in there. In the NWA is already there, you know. So all they have to do put a unit in NWA and do what they have to do. Yeah, it's a matter that just come clear to us. Tell us that it's going to be done. I can't dictate to the Prime Minister how he runs the cabinet or how he runs the country. But at least have some respect, or the ministers have some respect for the persons that people have voted for. Councillors and members, based upon what is happening, based on the monies and all of that. Money is not a problem. If you're going to find the money to give NWA to do it, why not find the money to give parish councils? I remember PIDP and EU. We went out there, we borrowed the money, we fixed the road, we put in the Lentman program. What is that? We enhanced the whole matter of that group in the Ministry of Local Government, that group, that the reform unit, and look at the workers. That's why we now have the type of workers and persons working in local government. It is not a matter of taking away. It's a matter of making sure that whatever is to be done, it is done at the nearest level to the people, not at the top. And that's all I'm saying. Have consultation. I'm not going to quarrel with you if you want to do it. All I need to do is that when my worker or when my person in the community read on the Webers or them place, ask about them road, I can say the position now is that it is X, Y, Z, and you go down the road. All I'm asking, you know. I'm not fighting anybody for their position because I don't have that authority. All I'm saying, have some respect for the councillors, even if you don't have none for me. Have some respect for the councillors. Let us know what is happening. That's all I'm saying. Departmental. Confirmation of committee meetings held and they're listed there. May I have a motion? Moved by Councillor Kennedy, seconded by Councillor Oliphant. 13 matters referred from committee. We have listed here recommendation of fixing the council's common seal to approve subdivisions.
Yes, Chairman. There are currently 7. Part of Patrick for Marcel Crawford, part of Retreat known as Mason Run for Donald Dawes, part of Greenvale for Inez Smith et al., part of Cocoa Walk for Barona Balgrove, part of Waltham for Leon Crowell et al., part of Heathfield for Andrew Gregory, and part of Warwick for Smedley Reed et al.
Smedley Reed. Yeah, former teacher, is still JP or whatever it is. May I have a motion, please? Councillor Oliphant, Councillor Mar Robinson, all in favor? B, recommendation for issuance of certificate of completion.
Chairman, there are 8. First, for Stewart Development and Services Limited, which is part of Ingleside. For Malding Manning, part of Bramelia, 22 West Road. For Mrs. Barbara Freckleton, part of Walderston. Polo Link Development Company, part of Bramelia. Part of Langsnai. Langsine. For Eric Rayner. Part of Halifax for Horace Sinclair. Sylvia Bocher, part of Marley Hill. And finally, for S. Lewis, part of Lancaster.
Lancaster. That's motion, please. Councillor Evans and Councillor Oliphant. All in favor? Questions?
Yes, Chairman. Chairman, would you allow me, sir?
Go ahead, sir.
I have a question, Chairman. General question in the interest of the public. And I want to first start by offering my condolences to the young lady who was killed from Media High School in the Apache Division. And this is a sad question. I think I know her father very, very well and her brother. But I have
yes, and Carly is her cousin and she's my goddaughter.
She's your goddaughter.
She comes here all the while to me.
Accept my condolences, Chairman. But I am perturbed. I'm a bit disheartened that we have to act when somebody dies, and especially a young person. And I think we as the leaders must take the collective responsibility to see that we act in the interest of it. Chairman, it has been years. And I think if my memory serves me correctly, you wrote already to NAA and the other agencies about this particular issue of safety around the school zones. If you look at the school district, Bishop Gibson, Bel-Air, Decatur College, Mount St. Joseph, those areas. We have mentioned it here many, many times about the issue of the sidewalks for these schools, and we get all sorts of excuses. You wrote, I remember former MP Mr. Bunting wrote, when another young person was killed from the Victor Dixon High School a couple of years ago, we visited his parents. I think he was from Albion, if my memory serves me correct. And we made some public pronouncements. We even made a suggestion about an overhead bridge for people to cross there. I remember, I wasn't here in this council, but I remember. And I remember, Chairman, that when we mentioned concerns about safety for Media and all of those schools around here, Victor Dixon, Bishop Gibson, the students every single day face some serious concerns. Somebody had to die for the Member of Parliament to make a pronouncement that we're going to put in the sidewalk. Now, we talk about this every single month. Recently, with the flooding of the water near to Bishop Gibson High School, and I said, if we allow somebody's child to drown there, we're going to face serious problem. I, for one, is seriously against when somebody has to die for us to take actions. And I want to ask the Member of Parliament, or publicly the NAA, where is the sidewalk going to be? Because if I remember serves me correctly, Mr. Bunting built a sidewalk from the entrance of the Media High School go to the crossing where you go to Belretaria and to go to Media. Is it going to be the sidewalk going to come from that crossing to Victor Dixon, where a lot of the students from Media walk to Victor Dixon? But we also have the problem, Councillor Wilson, where we have Bel-Air Prep, High and Basic. Those children have nowhere to walk, nowhere, absolutely nowhere to walk to Decatur College, come down to Wesley Road. The students from Bishop Gibson face the same problem, the students from Decatur College. And I'm asking that the relevant authorities, many letters are written, even by you, multiple occasions in this committee in infrastructure. We have written, we have made suggestions about what should be done. And absolutely nothing, and a child is killed. And then we are here now, we're going to do something, and I'm asking for us to stop that kind of shameful behavior. There's no way we should accept that somebody to die for us to make a statement. And I'm asking also in my question, what is the time frame for this sidewalk? What is the budget? What is the scope of work? What is it that we're going to do? Are we going to allow the students to stop walking from Decatur College and from Bel Air and from Mayday and those areas? Are we going to pick them up at the school gate? Also, before, what we did was to put some bus stops at some of these schools. Mayday have one. I think Councillor Oliphant, you put one name on it, I spell it wrong, and somebody have to take down the sign. At Bel Air. I have the history about all of this, I have the history of all of this, Councillor Knight. Long before you and Councillor Evans came here, we've been asking the question. When that young man died and went to the parents' house in Albion a couple years ago, I was ashamed. And it's gone more than 10 years. And another person, another parent have to bury a child now, because of lack of representation, and some persons, but not us, because we have asked the question many times. And I'm asking for us to stop that shameful way of how we do business, of killing people, and then we start to act. And there's no way, this is not going to be a 9-day talk, because we have talked about it every single month, whether this meets our infrastructure, what are the safety concerns for our schools. Mandeville itself is a school zone. Even though Kingston have more schools, but when you look at the per capita, Mandeville itself has the most schools in terms of the geographic space. Bel Air, Decatur College, Mayday, Victor Dixon, Mount St. Joseph, Manchester High. We need to protect our children, and I'm asking for those questions to be answered immediately or as soon as possible. And God forbid someone else, a parent, no parent should face the difficulty of burying a child. And it's a shameful day for Manchester.
Thank you.
Just one.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I listen to my colleague, and truth to be told, I agree with you in terms of our reaction time, in terms of getting things done. But it would be reminiscent of me to sit here and allow you to put the blame on the sitting member of parliament alone. She has just been here a little over 5 years. This present situation that we have faced, I've been here long time, some 40 years, right? So collectively, no, right? If we are looking at fixing the problem, let us fix it. Please don't play the blame game, okay? Thank you.
All right, I hear you, Councillor Miller, but if this council collapse now, would we be in Cecil Charlton? All right. Because I have written, and if I had known that this matter was going to come up in that way, I would have brought the letters that I've written to NWA. I have written to E.G. Hunter on 3 or 4 occasions, talking to him and writing to him about the situation with the traffic in Manchester. And up until now, he has not even acknowledged the letter.
Just a response.
He has not even acknowledged the letter. I went around to the training speech at Fields.
Yes.
I stood there, I took pictures, I brought on the NWA on video,
Yes, sir.
and showed them what was happening, and I was promised that they would send engineers and people to come look at it. They have not come, and E.G. Hunter is still the CEO of NWA. So I can imagine that the one road authority go to NWA.
Yeah. Here you go.
God forbid. Thank you, Councillor Oliphant.
Yes, Chairman, I endorse what you have said. And a quick example of the Mayday Victor Dixon situation, where NWA was on spot, West Indies Union was on spot, and when we look at the best situation for that,
what's to put a roundabout there?
That even West Indies Union, who owns the land,
Gave us permission.
donate the land so that we can put in a roundabout for the safety of the traveling public. And until now, NWA has not acted on that.
And Councillor Miller, I didn't hear the member blaming the MP, you know. What he's asking is where the sidewalks are going to be. Because I know, and I can go back into my archives, because I don't throw away paper, that when the sidewalk was being put in at Mayday, I was a CDF officer for Central Manchester. I worked with Mr. Bunting in office at that time, and I know we put it in. So there's sidewalk along that side. The other section of the road that maybe sidewalk has to be going on. First of all, they have to expand the roadway because it's already narrow and all of that. So the question of asking where will it be is relevant because it is NWA again that would have to look at all of that. So we will ask the questions. I mean, the minister is now, the MP is now junior minister in the Ministry of Education. Probably she have the money. She can probably find the money now, or the Education Ministry can find the money. So, and money another side problem. So we can find the money. Because I know the budget debate is going to start soon, so I soon hear what is happening. Right, so you don't know about that. Any other questions? Petition? Yes, Councillor Wilson, go ahead. Why, it's one of the longest meetings this in about. Go on.
Thank you, Your Worship. I know that this should be in writing, but due to the urgency of this matter, and I think NWC slogan is "Water is life." But if we don't store and protect our water properly, it will result in the loss of life. So going to petition that a letter be written to the Minister of Water and copied to our local government minister for 3 things. For funding for the trucking of water for the parish of Manchester. Funding for the bushing and repairs of our parish tanks. And thirdly, the provision of black tanks to the councillors for 1, distribution to our residents, and 2, to be installed in the areas that are not supplied by NWC or parish tanks.
All right, sir, thank you. So, Madam CEO will draft a letter and look back at it and all of that. But, you know, just recently I got some calls because I don't know what had happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We weren't getting any water from the NWA supply, the NWC supplies. And I got some calls from some people who never called me yet. I called me over the period of time, and one lady said, Mr. Mitchell, all I can find is 10 of the 1 gallon pan them, but let me get them full up. We can at least bathe and cook. And it's a situation that we are facing with, and so it's relevant, sir. And I'm going to ask the CEO to just draft a letter and we try to send it off as early as possible. Because I don't know if the Ministry of Local Government, I know Rural Water sometimes speak about some things, I don't know what they're doing, but our parish tanks need to be upgraded and all of that so that the people can get water.
Yes, it is the water.
Yeah. Okay. So we are now petition motions, notices of motion. I am moving that at the next meeting, I will bring to this council a resolution not in opposition to reform, but in defense of local government statutory authority and democratic accountability, especially for the One Road Authority. I'll bring an official resolution for debate and for us to ask that is sent to the ministry. I'm just waiting. I think by that time we might get some more answers that I can put in the resolution, but a resolution will be tabled in the House at next month's meeting. With that said, we are at item 18. We have had a lovely meeting, fruitful meeting. Right, and so, Councillor Moran Baker.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to close for us in prayer. May we stand, please? Oh, before we pray, I'd ask the CEO to accommodate a quick meeting for me after this, but I am awaiting a reply on a matter that we are discussing. So at Tuesday's meeting, immediately after commercial services, councillors only, myself, the CEO, and the Director of Finance will meet for a brief discussion. Huh?
Sorry.
Raise a pace out of my league.
Please be reverent to God. Heavenly
Please, at this
Father,
time, let us pray.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, a productive one. We thank you for your continued directions, God Almighty, because, God Almighty, we are only human, and sometimes we do forget. And so we continue to depend upon you for your guidance. Thank you for your blessing. Thank you for every sector that was presented here today. And Father, thank you for their presentation. Continue to bestow unto us your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so we continue to impact on the lives of the people we committed to serve. We ask you for your continued protection, your directives, your guidance in all that we do. May it be to your honor and to your glory. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. Having exhausted the agenda, item 19 is now before us for the adjournment. May I have a motion, please? Carl Simit.
Second.
Councillor Devon Wilson, all in favor? Council now stands adjourned until next month.